Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home. I'm at a project here that I'm building, and I wanted to give some advice on quality and something I've learned over the years, and it frustrates a lot of people because they don't approach it the right way. And you know, I talk about quality, time, and cost. And if I go with cost every time, I really suffer on quality, and actually the time gets really messed up. The build doesn't get built in an efficient amount of time. So how do you go after quality? Well, quality takes one thing that you need to factor into the build. In order to get good quality, you've got to be patient. Quality takes a little more time. Every subcontractor that I've had that just knocked it out of the park and did a great job, they took more time to do it. Now there's a caveat when that's not necessarily the truth. They get it done faster, but that's if they have a larger crew. But if it's a smaller crew and they have high quality, it's going to take a little more time to get that job done. I've dealt with framers, I've dealt with finished carpenters, all of them. I had a finished carpenter a long time ago, about 2 years ago up north, and he was putting in some real complex stairway, some beautiful trim made of knotty alder. It was gorgeous. He said he could get it done in 3 weeks. It took him 2.5 months to get it done. You have to be able to factor in more time for quality. Now sometimes you may not necessarily need quality on one thing, but you may need it on something else. It really depends on that. And so I've learned that if I'm going to do a custom build or a luxury custom build, and I'm talking with clients, I tell them, you know, between 6 and 9 months to build a home, depending upon some complexity issues and stuff like that. But I always estimate more time for the higher quality areas. A good example is this post over here. My concrete guy nailed it right, pretty much right on the nose. You can see how square that is, and this post beam actually lands right on that concrete pedestal. That's extremely difficult to do. It takes a lot more time to make sure that you're square with the wall, everything's lined up. And he had to check that several times. A lot of times you'll see on concrete that's a poor job. Like for example, we don't see it here. See how square we are? The sheeting is coming right down to the top of the foundation, all the way over here as well. All right, we are really squared up here. My concrete guy takes more time. He's phenomenal at what he does. And so if you can't factor in that time and you're in a hurry, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna maybe find a foundation that's not square, or you're gonna find something else that's got a problem. I saw a post on a social media where the owners were complaining that they could see the sheeting on the roof up top, and you could see the transition between the sheeting that took place. Well, a lot of that is a quality. They picked a really cheap asphalt, a 3-tab asphalt. It wasn't an architectural asphalt. And on top of that, the underlayment was probably very ineffective. And the sheeting on the roof probably got wet more than a couple of times during a rainstorm. And that actually starts to cause the edges of the OSB to fill up and to expand, and it causes some problems. So again, quality is in the materials, but when it comes to quality craftsmanship and quality framers, quality excavators, quality that, they take more time, and they're comfortable with that. They're in their element. They love being able to think at things. I've got some carpenters, and he'll step back when he puts something up and he'll look at it, put a level on it, he'll look at it, and if it doesn't make sense to him, he'll go on to something else before he comes back to finish stuff. They don't finish things until they know they can do it the right way. That takes more time. So keep that in mind. I've got an issue on the backside over here that hasn't been done by my pool guy. I'm not gonna push him. I just remind him I'd like to get that done because I know how much quality I'm going to get out of him. In fact, he doesn't build landscaping for builders. He's pretty much private, residential, referral, word of mouth landscaper, and he puts in pools that are phenomenal. I'm the only builder he builds for. And so, but I know that's a pressing issue. I'm going to talk to him. I want some backfill so I can get some support there. I don't want to lose him. I love his quality because I got some other work that I want to use him for. So quality is temperamental. Quality is patient. Quality is something that you have to be able to be relaxed about. If you're tightly wound on a job and you're giving all kinds of pressure to people, they will walk off your job site if they're high quality people. If they're just in there for the transaction, just for the cash flow in their business, they're not going to care about the quality, and they're just going to mess it up here and there. And then it's going to make you even more frustrated. All I want to do is communicate one thing: don't get frustrated with quality. It's not going to do well for you, and I've learned that the hard way. When I find somebody who does a great job, they are in their element. I had a big commercial job a couple years ago, and I hired a tile guy, and the floor was so uneven, it was scary. I mean, we were uneven almost 2 to 3 inches. He had to thin set that and level it off. It took an enormous amount of time. My client was frustrated. My client was yelling at him. My client was this, and I finally had to tell my client, please, I know what I'm doing. This is going to take a little more time, but we've got to do this right. And so I said, just please don't show up when my tile guy's there, because he was temperamental. He was emotional. He gets messed up when somebody else is putting pressure on him. He doesn't like being micromanaged. And so when I separated them, my tile guy commanded the attention of the entire space. I knew that if I didn't knock that out, we had long tiles about almost 3.5 feet long, and the floor was uneven. You know how hard it is to get a tile level with that length of a tile? It's really, really hard. And so he nailed it. He got it done. My client doesn't see that. They don't see how hard it is to make that quality happen. And so you have to be able to understand, even as owner builders, as contractors, how hard it is to get some things just as perfect as you can. And you have to communicate that to yourself, and you have to communicate that to your client. Quality is that art. Quality is that craft. Quality is that thing that you just don't mess with it, don't push it, don't force it, don't try to be impatient on it. Just let it unfold as you possibly can. And I guarantee you your product will come out much better if you really are relaxed and let quality surface. It's like cream rises to the top, and it takes time. It takes time for that to happen. I just wanted to communicate that bit of wisdom that I've learned in my life, and I take it to heart. That's why I put quality, time, and cost always in that order and always together. This is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home.